I've encountered witches before. When I was once speaking, this is not a joke, when I was once speaking at Legacy Church in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the land of enchantment, which is, in my opinion...
Again, not a hint of irony. We're up against cartoon characters, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, the fascists are quite horrifying and scary, and just deep down, rotten, awful people. Also, some of them are just cartoons. Alright, it's time for the Civil War to take place and witchcraft. I want to put this out first and foremost. If it's your first time here, we are a pro-witch community. We support witches. We stand. And yeah, we're not going to support any anti-witch discrimination. Alright, we are for the witches. May we all be so lucky to receive their curse. Now, I don't know if this is similar to the very incantations that were used to shrink Charlie Kirk's head, because that's the story that we're talking about. This is a real thing that we're going to be discussing, and this is a moment in history that we should give fair coverage, I would say. So I can't say, but if it is, it certainly does sound enthralling and perplexing. Oh, shrink his face. Sorry. I apologize. Shrink his face. Again, I'm not treating the story with the severity that it requires. Yeah, sorry. I meant to say shrink his face. His face was shrunken by witches. And I didn't know that, by the way. People called me out on Twitter. They were just straight up like, Lance, you're talking about this, but Charlie Kirk's face was shrunk by witches. That's why he's actually really scared of them. And then I had to apologize. I did not know that. I wouldn't have made that tweet had I known. You don't know about my lingo. Not gonna lie, the song goes even harder, thinking that this is actually affecting Charlie Kirk. Like, this is like his worst nightmare come manifest. This is what the right fears. Demonic, satanic. The witch revolution. Who am I? We do need to talk about this. I first saw this, and I was like, what's going down? Breaking. The Pinterest of that Trump grand juror has been found, and it's worse than you thought, lads. Witchcraft. Paganism. Pagan. Yes. All of the greatest things in the world happening simultaneously. We're seeing firsthand the effects that this can have on society. It's wild. This is, by the way, the white supremacist, Jack Posobiec. They're serious. Like, this isn't a meme. They're actually legitimately like, oh, that's what's going on. It was Satan all along. I feel like they're watching a Scooby-Doo episode where when the mask comes off, it was just Satanism and witches, really. You know, that's what it all came down to. But that led to this.
Some people are emailing us, Charlie, don't make fun of witches. They have a lot of power. That's not true. They do not have a lot of power, but they do have some. If they're really into it, I do believe there's some very dark spiritual implications. And
please tell me you can quantify it. And what metric do you measure this in brooms? Is it like they were thinking about 347 brooms at this point, but yeah, it's a dangerous time, certainly.
Dynamics here, and look, I've encountered witches before. When I was once speaking, this is not a joke, when I was once speaking at Legacy Church in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the land of enchantment, which is, in my opinion,
again, not a hint of irony. We're up against cartoon characters, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, the fascists are quite horrifying and scary, and just deep down, rotten, awful people. Also, some of them are just cartoons. Like, holy fuck.
The most outwardly pagan state remaining in America. A lot of great Christians, but there's a lot of weird witchcraft that happens in New Mexico. I spoke at Steve Smotherman's church, and I was talking about how I believe marriage was between one man and one woman. This was back in July of 2021. I'm not making a word of this up. Mikey could attest to this. Our whole team can. And 3 witches came up, and they started saying stuff at me. And maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it wasn't, but I got super.
Are you sure they were witches? Are you sure it wasn't people like, you fucking suck? Whoa, an incantation! My word, it's happening. My face is shrinking.
Super sick right after that. Again, maybe it's just a coincidence.
I felt super sick. Did they spit on you? That's so wild. Look, I believe this story happened in that 3 people, probably women, told Charlie Kirk something, probably along the lines of, you're a fucking piece of shit. Something like that, right? Like, you're a massive ass scumbag who wants to control women's bodily autonomy. Could have been something like that. And then, at once, he was, incantations! I feel it! The sickness hath taken me! And then face shrink.
Coincidence, who knows? Maybe you think it's all a bunch of horse pucky and all that, but...
I don't know if I was gonna label it as horse pucky. I also just didn't even know that term existed or that series of sounds and words was a real thing. So, I mean, I'm learning multiple things in this story. Changing the world.
That was pretty chilling. And so they came into the church. And by the way, Steve Smotherman, great friend.
Is that a real thing? Did he make that up, or is this like some old timey saying that I just am not aware of? Horse pucky. I'm Googling horse pucky. This is not the day I thought I would have. I didn't wake up and I'm thinking, you know, at some point today, Lance, you're probably going to have to Google horse pucky. No, it's not bringing up the resorts here. Wiktionary. Oh, this is a real thing. All right.
Horse pucky.
It's a swear for poop. Ah. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, okay. It's an old-timey thing. Well, hey, you know what? We're learning. Oh, okay, so manure. Shit. The horse poo. Gotcha. There's horse pucky pillows. What? It's not large enough for his face.
In Albuquerque tells me they have witches that come into their church all the time. And you might think it's all a bunch of nonsense and it's all just a bunch of vapor, or you might think that there's actually a spiritual war playing out. Obviously, I believe that those unclean spirits are subservient to truth, to Christ, and to the one God.
So witches don't have a lot of power, but they have some. Charlie Kirk was cursed by an incantation, and it made him immediately sick afterwards. Like, if someone hated you and they had powers, and like, you know, witch powers, why would they use so little of it? If they had the power to do an incantation on you, Charlie, and you were cursed, did you think that they would just stop at, like, you had a mild sneeze? You know, it's like, oh yes, we're going to unleash the pure fury of our witch power. From today. Emily Coors, the foreperson on the Trump grand jury in Georgia, really putting the witch in witch hunt. So they're going with this. They're just running with this. Yeah. I know a large percentage of people and Americans too. They believe in ghosts and specters and demons and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny that Charlie Kirk at this point thinks that he's actually been personally cursed by witches. I'm really here for this story, and honestly, again, we are a pro-witch community. So if there are witches who do in fact take claim to any of these actions, you know, sound off. That's pretty incredible, and yeah, I mean, keep doing what you do. I don't believe, but then I don't believe.
Some people are.
Well, my only request would be people don't say it, you know. Try and pass some kind of legislation or something, because their fears of witches, like, oh, we have to stop them and their incantations. I don't know if I believe, but I've seen some weird shit. Here's my thing. I'm not going to tell any single one of you that you may not have seen some shit and that you may not have had a real experience. For me personally, I completely base my understanding of the world around me on what is kind of observable and measurable, and I'm not trying to be condescending in any way. I just as soon as these words came out of my mouth, I'm like, this sounds extremely condescending. No, not my point. I'm just explaining my beliefs, and I've seen nothing to give me reason to believe that ghosts exist in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't think ghosts are real. Aliens, yes. I 100% believe that other life forms exist because I think the math. I think that just the universe is so large and so monstrously huge, so unfathomably big, that the mathematical probability of there being life other than people probably happened. Probably too far away. I don't think we're being invaded by a whole bunch of, highly advanced civilizations right now, and we're just shooting them out of the sky. It's like, yeah, they mastered interstellar travel and actually opening up wormholes to go vast distances, and they're dead. and we killed them. we just killed them again. Oh shit, we killed another one. Could we have learned anything from someone who had the ability to do that and was arriving peacefully? Yeah, probably. Probably might have some advice. Could be like, oh, we're here to give you the solution to all your problems. It's like, kill it. It's bringing love, break its legs. There are aliens from Signs. Signs, like the M. Night Shyamalan movie. That movie was kind of silly to me because the aliens died from water. So it's the most abundant resource, natural resource on our planet, and it's everywhere. It's in front of you right now. There's moisture in the air, so they would just all die instantly upon arrival. It would just and it would just melt. It would be a very short film. But yeah, it's like at first I was like, this is not where this is going, is it? Because that was the first movie, and now we're Shyamalan locked right now. That was the first M. Night Shyamalan film, because his first two were so incredible that I was like, wait, what the fuck? Or was The Village? No, Signs was before The Village, right? It was Signs, then The Village. But after his first two films, obviously The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, I was like, wow, this dude's next Spielberg. These are like epic fucking popcorn films that are original ideas, great twists, awesome, fun. I'm having a great time. And then that movie comes along. And, like, what the fuck? They were meant to be demons, not aliens?
They were meant to be demons, not aliens.
Well, first off, Thane Robbo, thank you. I did not know that. That doesn't make it any less ridiculous.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback, because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free. Just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.